Well, my friends, welcome back to this Friday edition of Spot On with Link Lauren. I think we're calling it the Friday Spot. We're calling it the Friday Spot, even if you listen on Saturday, Sunday, Monday, or you don't listen at all. We're calling it the Friday Spot because we have a story we didn't have time to get to this week. We also want to do some Ask Link. So if you follow me on Instagram, at I am Link, I asked you guys for questions a couple of days ago when I was stuck having one of my horrible plane experiences, and you guys sent in a gazillion questions, over 1,000 questions. So I think we're good for Ask Link from here on out for a while. But I want to get into some questions, but first we have to talk about Barack Obama's presidential library. So Barack Obama's library, it is a planned museum, library, and education project in Chicago to commemorate the presidency of Barack Obama. The center will also include community and conference facilities and will house the nonprofit Obama Foundation. Now, let me tell you, it's gone viral, okay, because I think we're calling this brutalist architecture. You know, there was that Oscar award-winning movie. I think it may have won Best Picture. There was that Oscar award-winning movie called The Brutalist, I believe, about this type of architecture. I think it's just pretty ugly, okay? The library is ugly. I don't know what's happening. I don't think it adds anything to Chicago. But then again, I have bad memories because I was just stuck in Chicago for 3 days trying to get a flight at the O'Hare airport. But no, the library is not being well received by residents in Chicago. It's being canned for the way it looks. And also they're coming in late and over budget because this is what the left does. So Barack Obama's ugly library, it has ballooned from $330 million to $830 million while they face criticisms over community impact. So this is part and parcel. This is part and parcel of what it means to be an elite Democrat. You don't have to worry about money. Imagine if you're building a house. Imagine if you're building a house or you're doing anything and they say, well, it's actually going to go from $330 to $830. That's more than 2x, right? If I'm correct, that's more than 2x the cost. It's almost 3 times the cost. And so it's awfully good that Barack Obama is not in charge of this country anymore because he would continue racking up debt. We're already $37 trillion in debt. And the fact that he thinks it's fine his presidential library is coming in this far over budget, literally almost 3 times the cost, shows us he has poor judgment. But I also heard that at the presidential library for Barack Obama, this ugly monstrosity that people are now making memes of, which is never a good sign for your library, they're going to have an exhibit allegedly for Michelle Obama's clothes. Michelle Obama... The left has tried to make Michelle Obama into this like Jackie Onassis like fashion plate for years. Michelle Obama is not a fashion icon. I know Anna Wintour put her on the cover of Vogue 3 times. She also put Jill Biden on the cover of Vogue 3 times, and Jill Biden looks like a geriatric hooker, okay? They have horrible style, but because they're part of the Democrat elite, they get put on the cover of Vogue. And so Michelle Obama, she's going to have an exhibit, almost like she's Princess Diana or Jackie Onassis, where you can go and see her clothes at the library. So you can go see her clothes and her dresses with pit stains, and that'll be great. So go see Michelle Obama's clothes at the library. Let me read you a little bit more about what's going on here. So locals say the center has become an eyesore that disrupts the natural landscape, and all locals are getting in return for the unsightly structure is soaring rents and higher tax bills. I don't blame them. When you have this monstrosity come into your neighborhood, who wants to live there? Who wants to live in this? I don't want to say what it looks like, but who wants to live in a neighborhood with this eyesore? Now, the Obama Foundation secured a 99-year lease for the public parcel for $10 in 2018. That doesn't sound corrupt at all. That doesn't sound corrupt. They're going to get all of this land for $10 and they can keep it for 99 years. Tell me that things aren't fair. Tell me that these elites don't have a leg up on the rest of us, okay? Obama said at the time that the project did not intend to displace residents, adding that its overseers are trying to balance boosting jobs and economic development in the area while maintaining and protecting existing affordable housing. Now, here's the thing with Obama. Knowing so many people from Chicago and Illinois, Obama didn't really do jack for Illinois. He was a career politician. He immediately wanted to go into the Senate. Then he had that huge DNC speech in 2004. I was a baby, but no, he had that huge DNC speech in 2004. And then he blew up, and then he was primed to run by David Axelrod for the presidency. Barack Obama didn't do anything for Chicago. Is Chicago better off because they had a president from their city? No, they're not. So Barack Obama, you also suck, and this library is ugly. I will probably visit it at some point. I will visit this ugly eyesore library. The last thing I'll say is this. Do people go to libraries anymore? I love a good presidential library, but do people read books? Like, are kids reading books and going to libraries? What's the point of the library? What's the point of the library anyway? Everybody's like on their iPads and their Kindles and their cell phones, and people don't read anymore, okay? They're scrolling through TikTok. Why don't you start a museum with TikToks playing on the wall? That's what you should do, because no one wants to go see this. But Now we have to move on to Ask Link because you guys sent in so many questions. I'm going to pull up the questions right now. So pour yourself a little drink and get ready for my life advice because as I always say, I'm an expert on nothing, but I have opinions on everything. So this first question comes from a young woman. These are always anonymous, okay? I am never going to out you guys and your freaky ways. But this girl, she commented and she said, my ex is coming over tonight to talk. I don't know what I should wear. Let me tell you first and foremost, sweetheart, your ex is not coming over to talk, okay? Your ex is not coming over to talk. A man is not coming to your house at night to speak with you. That is not what's happening. So my advice to you, okay? Go put on a flowy negligee. Go get a flowy negligee, okay? Put on some pumps and open that door like, how are you? Hello. Because guys, they love a girl with a low voice, okay? They love a girl with a low kind of gravelly voice, okay? Guys also love girls who are named like Dylan. Hey, it's Dylan. So open the door in a flowy negligee and some pumps and rock his freaking world, okay? My concern though, my concern is that your ex might be coming over to tell you he's gotten another girl pregnant, he's engaged to someone else, he's getting married. In that case though, you might end up pretty embarrassed, but I still think you should shoot your shot, okay? I just don't think your ex is coming over to talk. I'm here to tell you, sometimes a drive-by with an ex is good. You know what they like, they know what you like, you know it's not going to turn into a relationship again. You really have gotten over those romantic feelings. Sometimes you just got to do a little drive-by with an ex every once in a while. You know what I'm saying? Drive-by with an ex because they know what needs to be done. And you can kind of say, you know what? Great seeing you. I'm going to go my separate ways. So I will say this, your ex is not coming over to talk. Open the door in a flowy negligee and some pumps. Make sure you do your hair. Make sure you look right. Maybe have some music playing. Maybe put on some Enigma. If you know Enigma, put on some Enigma, put on some good music and rock his world. Make him go from X to next, okay? That would be my advice to you. And if you get harmed from my advice, then please don't sue me. This next question, what did you think of the And Just Like That finale? And they put a little poop emoji. The And Just Like That finale was an utter calamity. Okay, the And Just Like That finale was so terrible. We need to stone Sarah Jessica Parker in the streets, okay? Don't do that. Please don't do that, okay? Don't stone Sarah Jessica Parker in the streets. But I do think Carrie Bradshaw as a fictional character, this was terrible. Okay, how do you take a beloved character from an iconic 90s and early 2000s show and just run her into the gutter? And it's because a lot of these gay men who work in film and TV, they're misogynist and they get a kick out of making women look bad. And that's what they did with And Just Like That. I think the show is terrible. We won't miss it. I think when the history books are written, if we're still writing books, I don't think people buy books anymore, but when the history books are written, we won't even talk about And Just Like That. We'll talk about Sex and the City, and they should have left the original series alone. Samantha Jones, played by Kim Cattrall, she made the best choice. Made the best choice not coming back. But this is what happens. You go woke, you go broke. So, And Just Like That sucks. We should be stoning them in the streets. A lot of people asked me about Trump and Putin in the summit. And I got about 100 questions saying, do you think Trump can bring peace? I hope so. He's done a gazillion peace deals so far in the first 200 days of his administration. He is the peace president. We had no war for 4 years under his first administration. So I do think President Trump can bring peace. It's the art of the deal. And some folks were mad. They said, why did he go meet with Putin? Why would you go talk to Putin? When you're dealing with high stakes situations and global affairs, he hadn't seen Putin since 2019 in Osaka. So why not go sit down, look Putin in the eyes, have some meeting of the minds, hear what he wants, he can hear what you want, and then go home. Man to man, sit down and talk to him. Because if you haven't seen him in 6 years, how can you even negotiate with him? So no, I do think President Trump will bring peace, art of the deal, but it's also not our war. This is not our war, you guys, okay? We didn't start the Ukraine war, has nothing to do with us. We're just trying to end it. So this final question is another relationship question. This young woman says, I'm going on a third date tonight. What do I do that's outside of the ordinary and outside of the box? Third dates are precarious. Okay, I'm going to need more information. Have you slept together yet by the third date? Did you have a one-night stand? Have you had any type of carnal relations? Have you knocked boots? I don't know. Some type of third date idea. Do something where you can actually get to know each other. I think a lot of times people think they need to go on a date to a movie. Let's go see a movie. You're not really going to get to know each other during the movie, okay? I think a lot of guys take girls to movies because they think they're going to get lucky when the lights go down. But no, I don't think going to see a movie is a great first date. I think go do something where you can talk and get to know each other. That would be my advice if you're going on a third date, because third Third date is when you really need to decide, am I going to go on a fourth date? Are we going to become boyfriends? Are we really going to get to know each other? Third date is an interesting situation. It's not first date. It's not second date. If you're investing the time and the energy into a third date, go do something where you can get to know each other. And I would say maybe go have a meal at a quiet restaurant. Don't go to a loud restaurant. Go someplace quiet where there's going to be time between courses where you guys really have to sit there face to face and talk, because that's what your relationship is going to be. If it works out, it's going to be y'all sitting around talking for the rest of your lives until you're hopefully in rocking chairs on the front porch, because I believe in love. So no, I think go to a dinner, a quiet restaurant, where it's going to take a while, where you guys have to sit and talk and talk and talk, and make sure your apartment is clean or his apartment is clean. So if things go well and you go back to each other's place, you're not walking into a pigsty, okay? When I would go on dates and I thought there was a chance I was going to bring the guy back to my apartment, I would be throwing stuff under the bed. I would be shoving stuff in the closet. I would go grab Clorox wipes and doing the whole countertop. So make sure your apartment looks good and smells good. If you have a dog or a cat, maybe make sure it's with a friend for the night. Maybe see if a friend can babysit it at their place. But yeah, no, go on that third date where you guys have to sit and talk, and come to the third date with some questions, right? You've been out with him twice. Come to the third date with some questions. I'm sure you've stalked him on social media. Really ask him about what his goals are, how he sees his family. Does he want kids? How many kids? If you didn't get into those things on the first date, like me, because I'm a little cuckoo, I come in the first date, I'm like, but no, on the third date, make sure you come with some questions in your back pocket so you leave the third date knowing more about him. Don't go on the third date and make nothing but small talk and tell silly stories. You need to come in with a plan, sweetheart, because your time should not be wasted. So that is my advice to you. As I say, I'm an expert on nothing, but I have opinions on everything. So I love you guys. And if you have more questions, drop them in the comments below. Also, if you want to opine a little bit on the advice I've given, drop it in the comments below. But have an amazing weekend. I love you guys. And thank you for the support. I read all of your comments and messages, even if I can't respond to all of them. So have a great weekend with your loved ones. I will see you back on Monday. All right, bye. Let me tell you about masa chips. Okay, I don't do regular tortilla chips at this point. I can't do it. Whenever we have friends come over, these are the chips that we use. And I've also converted all of my friends to masa chips because they ship me boxes and boxes with 1,000 bags of chips, and I hand them out like candy on Halloween. But all of my friends, they say we love masa chips. We don't feel guilty eating them. They don't break in our guacamole. And let me tell you why masa chips is so great. Because masa chips, they're made with just 3 ingredients: organic corn, sea salt, and 100% grass-fed beef tallow. That's it. No seed oils, no junk. Masa is what chips should be. So go try them and you will taste the difference. Masa chips is also beloved by tens of thousands of customers and has been endorsed by industry-leading health and nutrition experts. Ready to give masa a try? Go to masachips.com/link and use code LINK for 25% off your first order. That's masachips.com/link and code LINK, LINK, for 25% off your first order. Go get them.